Am I the asshole for saying I don't owe my family financial support when asked to continue helping? I'm the oldest of 5. My parents have me, 18 female, my brother, 15 male, my sister, 14 female, another sister, 12 female, and another brother, 10 male. My parents always struggled to afford having kids, but they kept having more, and things got tighter over the years. At first, it wasn't too bad. It just meant no birthday parties or eating out ever. But then it became no special birthday dinners, making torn school backpacks work 3 years in a row. It meant wearing clothes a little too small, and eventually it meant eating really basic, cheap meals and not saying you were hungry after. When I was 12, I started doing some odd jobs for people, and my parents would use that money to put towards the household. Then when I was 14, I became a babysitter, and that money all went to the house. When I was 16, I started a more official job and would hide some money, but the rest was taken and used for the family. I resented the hell out of it. I told my parents as much. They would say it was my job to help the family too, as the oldest, and it would be unfair to keep my money and spend it on me when they were the ones struggling with bills and food. I moved out 3 months ago, and that all stopped. I have not given a single cent to my family since, and it has been difficult. I basically had to cut them off because the requests were endless. My siblings would ask for lunch money, money for school supplies, etc. And while I know they're kids and innocent, etc., I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, and I don't want to always support my family. I did when I had no choice, but now I want to be selfish. Things have fallen apart since they lost my money. They ended up defaulting on rent, and now they're in sheltered accommodation, and I'm being blamed. I told my parents it's not my job to support them, and I don't owe them that support. Now I'm the asshole with them and my siblings because I would rather see them homeless than help again. So, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not answering work emails while on vacation, resulting in the loss of a client? My husband and I took a much-needed vacation to the beach last week, and the entire week before we left, I sent emails around letting everyone know I'd be completely inaccessible for the week, so to come and see me for any work materials needed, files, etc. I gave everyone everything I knew or thought they'd need and left confident that everyone had prepared themselves. The rest is on my YouTube. Go look at my YouTube. I love you guys. Seeing as I had given them 8 days to prepare, when I returned, I found chaos in the office. Apparently, one of my colleagues had needed files for a particularly important client of ours and had not been able to find them in my office, and I never responded to calls or emails, as I warned I wouldn't do. This coworker knew they'd be handling this client and had 8 days and 12 hours a day to ask me for all pertinent files and appears to have not. In any case, I was blamed because the client is technically mine and I am supervisor of this coworker. I contend that I am blameless because this coworker had 8 days to collect all their files like their other coworkers did, and they neglected to do so. No one seems to care about that. So, am I the asshole here? Am I the asshole for embarrassing my parents by making them apologize to my neighbors if they wanted to keep staying? My parents are pretty mad at me, so I'm not sure about this. I have a pretty good relationship with my neighbors. They sometimes ask if they can use my yard space if they're doing something. We don't have a fence that divides our yards except for the pavement split down the middle between our properties. It's never been a problem since I'm not home usually, and they always pick up after themselves. Earlier this week, they asked if they could use my yard to set up a water slide jumper for the kids because they were going to host a barbecue today. I said that was fine. My parents are staying here for a couple weeks, and I told them what my neighbors would be doing since I was going to be working and out of the house today. Luckily, I was only gone a couple hours. When I got home, I saw my neighbors trying to set up the jumper on their front lawn instead, while all the tables were in the back. So I asked them what happened if they had changed their mind. They told me my parents came out of the house when they came to the yard and told them to move their things because I'd, quote unquote, changed my mind. I apologized to my neighbor and told her they're free to set up the jumper on my side of the yard like we had agreed. But I was so angry at my parents. It wasn't like they were caught off guard because they were told this would happen. My mom's defense was she didn't know they were going to put a water slide. I told her they would, and didn't want to hear a bunch of kids running around outside. Knowing how my mom is, I'm sure she kicked up a huge fuss. My sister, who was there, told me she was threatening to call the cops if they didn't move their things. I was in a very bad mood. Made them both go to my neighbors and apologize. They didn't want to initially, but only did because I said they're not staying here unless they apologize, then leave the neighbors alone for the rest of the time they're here. My mom is angry because I humiliated them by treating them like little kids, and I had no right threatening to kick them if they didn't. That's why they think I'm an asshole for embarrassing them in front of the neighbor after they had yelled at her. Now they won't speak to me. My sister agrees too. I was kind of an asshole since I know my parents are too prideful about that kind of stuff, and the humiliation must have hit harder. I'm not sure if I was. Just in that moment, I was angry for starting unnecessary issues with my neighbors and disturbing our peace. They were still kind enough to offer food, but like I say, parents are upset by this. So, am I the asshole?